Hi everyone, this is Tim. Welcome to another episode of The Cheap Shot. As you can probably see in the background, it's a bit of a grey, damp start this morning. We've had quite a bit of mist and fog this morning, and there's a lot of dew on the flowers in the garden. I thought it would be great to cut a few flowers, bring them inside in a vase and do a little bit of macro photography. The only issue is I don't actually have a designated macro lens, but what I do have is my Canon 40D with the standard 18 to 55mm kit lens and one of these, which is a reversing ring. So let's see how we can use this to get some great macro shots. So this is the kit that I'm going to be using to get the shots today. So we have a Canon DSLR with the standard 18 to 55mm kit lens. We also have a cheap LED panel light or video light that I'm going to be using just to illuminate the flowers, and obviously we're going to need to throw some light on some of the parts of the flowers to get those lovely macro shots. I also have a cleaning cloth and a air blower. I need to make sure the lens is really clean. Obviously when you're doing close-up shots you don't want any dusty spots or greasy marks on the lens, so I want to give the lens a good clean. And of course we have the reversing ring itself, which is a 58mm Canon EOS reversing ring, and I will show you that in a little more detail in just a moment. Okay, so this is our reversing ring. As you can see on one side, just about see there, we have the 58mm threaded fitting. This part of the reversing ring you would screw directly onto your lens, so this is the same as fitting a filter or a lens hood on your lens. You would just screw this bayonet fixing, this reversing ring rather, onto your lens. The bayonet fixing is on the other side. This is the EOS bayonet fixing that will then allow you to connect this reversing ring, once installed on the lens, onto the camera body. And obviously you would use the red dot to line up with the camera body, the same as you do when you're changing lenses, and clip this into position to ensure that the lens is securely fitted backwards on the camera body. So this particular reversing ring is, I believe, made of aluminium. They are really cheap to buy. I think anywhere from sort of £5 to £7 on eBay, and obviously available also on Amazon. And this basically turns your standard 18 to 55mm kit lens into a close-up macro lens, and I think it's very good value for that money. So I think well worth getting one. But there we go, that's what it looks like. And let's get it fitted on. So this is how we mount the reversing ring on the camera. So the screw thread, we just screw onto the threaded part of the lens, where we would normally screw on filters and lens hoods. Just make sure that's nipped up. We don't want it to be too tight because obviously it needs to come off again. We then can release the lens from the camera, and then we're just going to turn that lens around, and then by selecting the red dots and matching them up, this will allow us to clip the lens in position. There we go, you can hear it just click there. And now our lens is mounted in reverse on the camera. Now you'll see that there are some contacts here. These are the contacts that are normally used for controlling the aperture of the lens and also the autofocus function. So now unfortunately we're going to have no aperture control, and the lens will need to be focused manually. So you can actually focus the lens on your subject, and you can zoom in and out as well. But this will work in reverse. So if you're zoomed out to the 18mm setting on the lens, then you will find that you're in much closer to your subject than if you were at the long end. But just have a play around with it really and see what you reckon. But this is it fitted in reverse, so we're all ready to take some macro shots. Let's go and see what we can do with our reverse kit lens. So these are my chosen subjects today. I've just picked a couple of dahlias from the garden. As you can see, there's still quite a nice lot of droplets, dew droplets on the flowers, and I think that'd be ideal for getting some real close-up macro shots. Okay, so this is the setup I'm using today. So we have our Canon DSLR mounted on a tripod with my 18 to 55mm lens mounted backwards on the camera using our reversing ring. As you can see, we've got 2 or 3 dahlias there that I picked from the garden, and we're going to be focusing on those, getting in nice and close and hopefully getting some great macro shots. Because obviously the focus is really fiddly because you're working so close to the subject, and you will need to actually spend a bit of time to get a decent focus on these. I actually put the camera on live view and zoomed in so that I could get some hopefully really nice sharp photos. Obviously illuminated the flowers with my cheap LED. I think it's an Andoa LED lamp that I purchased a while back, and yeah, just really getting in nice and close. Obviously any movement of the camera and the tripod can put your photo back out of focus. So what I've done is I've locked onto the images, locked onto the flowers, and then once I've done that, I've used the timer. So I hit the button, and then around 2 seconds after, the camera fires. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with some of the results I've got actually, especially using a very cheap, £5 reversing ring on a kit lens. You can get some very good results. Obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as good as a proper designated macro lens, but I think you'd be surprised how well you can do. So there we go, my little macro setup. Have a go yourself. I think you'll enjoy having fun with this. It's really great. You can get some really sort of unusual and striking images from everyday subjects. Thanks ever so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think you'll agree it's a great idea to get one of those little reversing rings and just use on your kit lens to get some fantastic macro results on a budget. So thanks ever so much. I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with some images that I got using this setup. Bye now.